Welcome to Android Authority on Air, the original Android Hangout show on Google+. I'm Derek Ross.
And I'm Scott Anderson.
We're joined with Jonathan Franklin and Dan Charlton for a very special Christmas edition of Android Authority on Air. We'll be giving away 5 Google Play gift cards worth $10 each, which we'll have details for later in the show.
Derek, what would you do with $10?
What do I do with $10? On Google Play? Or just $10 in general?
On the Play Store.
Oh, on the Play Store. I was going to say, well, if it was just $10, I'd go buy 2 beers. But, all right, so $10 in the Play Store. You know, I'm trying to think if there's an app I want to buy right now. I can't think of an app that I want to buy, but there's definitely some music I'd want to buy or a movie. Definitely, I would use it to buy some content. I wouldn't use it to buy a game or an app at this time.
I'd like to check out that new Reader app.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, we'll talk about that new Reader app maybe a little bit later on in the show.
Cool.
All right, so let's talk about some Android ecosystem news here, and then we'll get into some apps and devices, as well as some carrier news and rootin' and ramen as usual, and we'll wrap up as we always do with some patent wars. Apple got smacked in the face this week, and it just makes me smile. All right, so let's start out our Christmas edition show here with some ecosystem news, like I said. So Google Play is going through upcoming 2013 deals or end of the year deals or end of the world deals, depending if you're thinking that's going to happen tomorrow. Either way, there's a yearly wrap-up / New Year beginning deals going on right now. So at least until the first of the year, there'll be every day there's a new way for you to take advantage of Google Play, either if that's a free app or if that's an in-deal app, such as an app if you use the free app to look for a hotel and they gave you a $35 credit towards that. So there's everything changes every day. There's a new app or a new giveaway, a new deal every day. So that's great that Google's doing that. They did something like this last year, and I think we're all hoping for a 10-cent app day as well. That was nice.
Yes, I'd love more of those. I bought tons of apps.
Oh, I know. You know, for 10 cents, you might as well just buy them all.
Oh, yeah.
It adds up, though. You end up spending a few bucks. It's good.
Like $10 over the whole course.
Yeah, so Music Match is now available in the U.S., and this was rolled out recently in the U.K., and what Music Match is, it allows you to do the same thing you always did, is upload your existing content to Google Play. You're allowed to upload 20,000 songs that you already have in your existing collection.
For free!
But for free, as Scott said. But now it happens faster. So does it really actually upload faster? Not really.
No, it doesn't actually upload.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, it only uploads, I guess, if your song isn't found on the Play Store.
So their library is still growing, so there have to be some songs that don't match.
I have music that I know is not on the Play Store.
Yeah, so I'm sure all of us have some songs that aren't on the Play Store. So the songs that you do have that are on the Play Store, they are automatically added to your cloud storage on Google Play. So the new matching feature scans through your songs. It says, hey, this song already exists. So when it's going through Scott's Yanni's albums, it sees that Yanni is available in the Play Store. I'm assuming it is in the Play Store. This is a bad joke. And it and it says, oh, Scott, your Yanni's already available for you to start listening to, and you can start listening to it automatically. And then you can stream it back to listen at 320 kilobits per second. So,
now here's my question. So let's say I upload a song that's 128 kilobits per second, and let's say it gets matched to Google Play content, okay? And Google Play content is 320 kilobits. Do I then get the opportunity to download 320 kilobit music? So basically upgrading the bitrate on the songs that I have.
I believe so. Because the content is I said, it really just matches the song. It doesn't care on your bit. So let's say you ripped music yourself, or you got it from another provider, from the bowels of the internet, however you got it. Let's say you have some skips and pops in your song for whatever the reason. You're not going to have those anymore because your song really isn't uploaded. It's just now available to be streamed. So that's nice. If you don't have the greatest quality music collection. And you know, a year and a half. What man? It's been like a year and a half since the Google Music first came out. And was it May 2011, something like that? I remember it took me like 2 days to upload 10,000 songs. You know, like it took forever. But you know, not a big deal. Then since then, I've been slowly adding music to that. But you don't have to spend days doing it anymore. It's just, you know, maybe only an hour or half hour or a few minutes, depending on how much music you have that isn't available. So that's nice.
With regards to the 320 kilobit, Nick says on Google Plus that you can only stream at 320.
You can't download at 320?
I'm not sure. He said you can only stream.
Yeah, so I mean, I just commented as well, asking what is the download rate at then? Is it whatever your original one was? What if you don't actually have the original file on your hard drive? Like, how do they know?
Or what if you uploaded most MP3s nowadays are VBR, variable bitrate. So what type of, you know what I mean? Like, that's actually a very good question. I haven't re-downloaded any of my music. I've never had a need to. Personally,
Yeah,
I just haven't.
and I don't have my originals. I mean, I know very little of my music was probably at 320 kilobits, but I mean, I don't have the two to compare.
You know what? I recently formatted and put Linux Mint on my system. I don't have my 10,000 originals either. I don't need them. You know what, Nick? I'm gonna check. I'm curious. I'm gonna download an MP3 or two after the show.
I'm going to try it right now.
Hey, I'm saving my bandwidth for the show, Dan.
The right thing to do would be to allow them to download at any quality, because, I mean, technically, anybody that would be uploading or anybody that would have MP3 files on their computer to begin with probably ripped them at some point from a CD, which a CD is higher quality than 320 or 128 or anything. So
that's why you do FLAC, right?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Oh, God.
Well,
Google servers, you know, the amount of space that they have, it would go crazy if it was flagging.
Yeah, it's something for us to look into a little bit more. Obviously, we don't know everything about it, but that's some good questions. So let's talk about some Android malware FUD. Dan, you have some information on that for us? Apparently, there was some mudslinging going on earlier.
Yeah. So there were these big estimates that Android's going to get 18 million devices affected with malware in 2013, and this is just so much malware. Yeah, that's really only about 1% of the devices, Android devices, expected to be on the market.
Because remember, there's 500 million, half a billion.
Over a half a billion right now, and they're expected to sell 1 billion in 2013.
So that's not a big deal. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but when you look at actually how many users, how many phones, tablets actually exist, it's nothing.
And when you compare that to malware in Windows, for example, that's nothing.
Malware to me is basically if you're
OS X worm that they found. If you just compare that to the percentage of Apple machines at Apple's headquarters that were infected, you're looking at more problems in Apple's ecosystem than on Android.
Yeah.
And yet everybody keeps complaining about Android has these security problems.
just be a smart consumer and you will be safe.
Yeah. The only place where there's problems is in places where you're buying it off a black market. So don't use a black market.
another thing is the ones that are really leading this research are antivirus and anti-malware companies that are trying to sell you something. The ones that are primarily pushing and claiming the majority of the exploits or potential exploits or security flaws are the ones that are trying to sell you software. So you have to take that into account too, because Trend Micro has been a really big one. And the antivirus companies are really dying out.
Yeah.
Monetarily. So
people are starting to realize that it's not about having antivirus stuff bogging down my system all the time. It's about me not clicking on stupid links.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's talk about some app updates here. Scott, you are a resident app update guru. You want to hit on some of these for us?
I love the app updates. You know, when I wake up in the morning and I don't see that there's an app that needs to be updated, starting off on the wrong foot. So we had a Google Plus app update. Allows the communities feature. Right now, my personal opinion is it's an overused feature that just kind of is there in my stream. It's going to get better. Moods, which are little like blobs that have emotions, I guess. That's the best way to describe it. I don't know really what they're called, but you can post them to whatever mood you're having. I think it's a pointless feature, and hopefully they replace the moods with something. And moods, when you post them, they're GIFs, and you can see them moving in your stream on mobile, tablet, or on your phone.
Bandwidth that could have been used elsewhere.
Yeah, but you got to show how you're feeling, I guess. Turning this into that F word. And then basically there's a bottom bar. It's black and colorful. Personally, I think it's ugly, and it gets in the way when you're trying to scroll down, swiping up, and
Yeah.
I don't think it gets in the way. I actually like it down there versus being up top, because whenever I am swiping down, you don't really swipe up that often. You're scrolling down your stream you're reading. So I like it being down there. I don't like the colors. I mean, I know they're Google colors, but it feels out of place with the rest of the app.
Wait, you swipe up. No. No. You swipe from the bottom to the top to see the older posts.
As I'm scrolling down, swiping down, whatever, as I'm looking at older posts, it disappears. As soon as I go to swipe up, it appears.
Yeah, but let's say you look at a post and it appears,
Yeah.
and then you try to swipe down again, and then it gets in the way, I think.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I don't know why it's there at all. I don't know why it's not on like the hidden side menu.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Already a
I
photos
like
tab on
it.
the side menu.
I like it being where it is versus where it was at the top. I didn't like. It's easier to just tap it with your thumb now to make a post.
I do agree. It is easier to tap with your thumb, and easier to post
But
it.
like Scott said, though, I don't like the colors.
Well, they're pushing for hollow, kind of monotones, colors. They're really against it as far as hollow guidelines. You know what I mean? They want the action bar items to be relatively subtle, like dark gray, mono, flat gradients, not a lot of iOS looking kind of. And then you put these applications out here.
Right.
That
It's ugly.
yeah, it is. It's ugly. And
Yeah. So one thing though that is nice about the app is moods, right? I mean, that's the best feature that was added. Like, it's neat, but I'll give it that. I'm not a fan of my spacing, Google Plus. Is it cool that you can add a mood? Yeah. Am I ever gonna do it? No. And I really hope that if I have you on my stream, you don't show me your moods all the time.
I haven't seen anybody mooding yet.
To this day, I have not mooded, and I will never mood.
I've seen people mood, but I haven't mooded myself. So.
I saw a couple people do it just to see what it looks like, and you know what? And that's okay. But as long as I don't see it all the time, man.
I block them immediately. Just know that.
I'm not mean. I'm in the Christmas spirit. I will not block you if you give me a mood. Unless you mood all the things, then I might.
If you guys haven't noticed, our attire is green and red because of this holiday that's coming up. I don't know. Yeah.
Festivus, I think they call it.
Festivus. And what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the poll, and we're going to talk about our grievances, and the show won't end until one of us gets wrestled to the ground.
And then we're going to talk about our moods together in a circle. I hate that circle.
All right, so moods, yeah. All right, let's move on and talk about some more apps here.
So the Amazon mobile shopping app got updated. It basically gets 7-inch tablet support, which is nice. It's moving in the right direction. Nexus 7 definitely looks nice. Got some bug fixes, able to see wish lists and things related to your wish lists. Kind of cool. I like
So
it.
if you want to use your Nexus 7 to buy a Google Plus Santa gift for the G Plus Secret Santa, you can do that since you can view wish lists.
I do like that.
So let's talk about ISIS Mobile Wallet. and Google Wallet. If you remember about, I'll just say 2 weeks ago, I could be wrong on the time frame, recently, Verizon released a statement saying that the reason the Google Wallet is not supported is because Google Wallet uses the secure element on the phone, and that is proprietary hardware, and it is not part of the OS, it is not part of the radio communications, and therefore Verizon thinks it's bad and has no access to it and will not use it. However, screenshots of ISIS being installed have been making their rounds this week, and whenever you install ISIS, the mobile wallet from Verizon,
Basically the exact same thing, but
AT&T,
from Verizon,
and
AT&T,
T-Mobile, it says, hey, look, whenever you install this app has to have access to NFC and the secure element.
the exact same permissions.
So their argument last week or the week before that said Google Wallet couldn't be used because it used a secure element was complete and utter bullshit.
Crap.
No, it was bullshit. It was more than crap. So Dan, what do you think of this? I mean, I know you're not a Verizon customer, but you're usually
Not
pretty
just
vocal
Verizon,
with things
though.
like
Yeah,
that.
T-Mobile's.
It's not just Verizon though. It's
Yeah, you're a
AT&T and T-Mobile too.
Yeah.
And the three of them together are making themselves a lot of legal problems. Because right off the bat, the three of them together are colluding to block a competitor.
No, what they're doing is they're buying time for themselves to release an okay app and get it on all their phones, and then eventually they'll let Google do their thing.
Yeah, that's the effect
That's
of what
probably
they're
actually
doing.
what's going to happen.
That's
So
just the practical impact of what they're doing. I'm talking about like the legal ramifications. These three companies are illegally colluding. I'm talking the exact same way that Apple and the book publishers were illegally colluding. This is against the law for the three of them together to be doing this. And then for them to block it for such superficial reasons and then turn around and do the exact same things, they're going to start running into huge antitrust problems. All three of them together.
And they're so big that they can do it.
No, because Google's big enough that they can raise a stink, especially while the FTC is grilling them and pouring. For 2 years, they've been under investigation, and they will have no problem turning around and saying, I'm sorry, you just came off this investigation and pretty much let us walk away with a self-imposed slap on the wrist, and this is what you're letting our competitors do? Really?
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
It's not going to go well for Verizon and AT&T and T-Mobile.
So,
And Sprint has not been particularly favorable toward
so you know our stance on Google Wallet, ISIS, debacle, secure element gate. Let's call it that, secure element gate.
I don't like that.
Let us know in the comments if you're watching or later when you're listening. What do you think of this? You know, is this, you know, it's Verizon's, it's AT&T's, it's T-Mobile's phones. They can do whatever the heck they want with them. Or is this pretty much the exact opposite of what Android is meant, is, you know, an open operating system? If this was, you know, I could see this being okay if this was an iPhone because it's closed, but Android's, you know, more or less open. So I don't agree with it. So let me know if you think that we're nuts or if you hate this as well. So while you're yelling about this, I think we have another honorable mention for an app update. We love it when apps get hollow. We love it when they get updated to the new, you know, Android 4.0 or 4.x and higher design, which is, you know, hollow, getting rid of, yeah, we don't need to get into hollow. You know what hollow apps are. So ESPN decided to hollow all the things on their Score Center app, so that's cool. All right, so let's get into a Google Play gift card giveaway here. So here at Android Authority, we are going to give away 5 Google Play gift cards this evening during the show. Each gift card is worth $10, and you will be given a code, and you can then use this code to buy whatever you want on the Play Store, as long as those items are accessible, obviously, in your area of the world. So, to get started...
Are there things that they can't buy?
Well, if you live in an area that doesn't support Google Movies or Google Music, I mean, what's the point of buying, you know, music or, you know, the movie? Which, you know, some content isn't available everywhere. So obviously you can only use it for content that is available in your area. With that said, So for the Christmas edition, see, John and I got our Christmas hats on. Well, John and I are in a giving mood, but we got Grinch Green Dan and Grinch Green Scott. I guess I'm wearing green too. All right. So, anyways, we're going to ask 5 questions throughout the show. A couple of the questions are Android related, so anybody can most likely answer them. And then we're going to ask a few other questions that are pertaining to us, the people that are on here every single week. So that those of you that watch the show week in and week out, these questions are for you, our fans that are tuning in all the time. You'll probably get these answers. So what I want you to do, the same as we do in all of our other contests, I want you to find the original post. Find the original post on Android Authority's Google Plus webpage. And don't go to my reshare of it or Scott's or somebody else's, one of your buddies, because we're not watching all those reshares. We're only watching the comments. We're not watching the comments on YouTube either. We're going to make this as easy as possible to determine a winner and to help you guys out too, to make it easier so we can give you something. So find the original post and start watching here. So whenever we ask the questions, you're going to then comment. The first person to comment with the correct answer, simple as that, we'll contact you after the show, most likely tomorrow, since it is late in the evening. And tomorrow I will contact you and give you your code, and then you open up the Google Play app where it says redeem, or you can actually even do it on the website too. You can redeem a code. You put your code in, you get your $10. You buy whatever you want. Okay? So now giving you guys a few seconds here, enough rambling on here. The first question for $10 of Google Play credit is name the month, date, and year that Google acquired Android. For example, July 1st, 1773, which obviously that didn't happen.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, so it said month, date, and year. What month, date, and year did Google acquire Android?
And hour.
And hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to give us
when they announced it.
Yeah, you don't have to give us the hour because I don't know if I'm sure only a few people actually know that. All right, so while we're waiting for an answer, let's talk about another Google app update, Scott.
Which one are we going to be talking about?
The Redbox Instant.
Redbox Instant. Oh, then I have another one to talk about that I got a little beef on. Basically,
I'm seeing a winner already. I'm going to interrupt you, Scott, because I'm a jerk. I see Steve Foster, I think, is the winner.
Is he the first winner?
August 17th, 2005. Let's verify that on outside the comment tracker here.
That's it. Yep.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
John Lesky, 2005. Somebody did not follow directions.
All right, so Steve Foster, I will contact you and get you your code tomorrow. I said I've got a lot of show to do tonight and all the prep and everything. I will definitely contact you. I will contact you on Google Plus. I'll plus mention you and give you your code. Okay. All right, let's move on and talk about Redbox Instant, and then stay tuned. We're gonna give away 4 more in a little bit.
I'm excited.
Merry Christmas, Steve.
Oh, you get that free money? Solid Explorer just got out of beta. I'd buy that.
You like Solid Explorer, don't you?
I really do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It is really nice.
That's awesome.
Really nice app.
Okay, so Redbox Instant. It's a service from Verizon and Redbox. It's basically a competitor with Netflix. $8 a month for unlimited streaming and 4 physical one-night rentals. It's an invite-only beta right now, and it is available for installation on the Google Play Store.
And to any rooted Verizon users, you are destroying the network, but streaming movies is not.
Yeah, so what's great is Verizon axes unlimited data because that's bad, and then they come out with a new data-hungry service. All right, conspiracy theorists go.
Netflix the top bandwidth consumer in the United States of any service? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The real problem is going to come when they start not charging you for data over their service.
That's true.
And only data from Netflix or YouTube goes to your cap, but anything from Redbox is totally free because you pay for Verizon.
Yeah, they could do it one of two ways. They could do it, okay, this service, this unlimited streaming service for our content is going to be free to you. No monthly fee, but free, but you will pay for data that you go over. Or they could do it and they could say, hey, this monthly fee is cool, but we're not going to charge you for data using this app. So, I mean, they could do it a couple different ways.
Either
right now,
their LTE.
You know what? Maybe it'll be something like, if you agree to have the Verizon logo watermarked in all your videos, it will not be. Oh, come on. Verizon does a good thing. They just gave me LTE at my house. I love Verizon. They do great work.
nobody cares
All right, so let's move on here. People want to give more Christmas presents here. All right, so let's talk about devices. So the Nexus 7.
No, I want to say one thing. Hold on. Google Maps for iOS was downloaded 10 million times in 48 hours. Does that surprise anybody?
No, people don't want to die in the outback of Australia.
And
The
this,
other thing is they said iOS 6 adoption jumped up like 29%.
yeah, that one is hilarious.
Viable map service comes out, boom, people install iOS 6.
I saw actual statistics comparing Bing and Google and Apple Maps, and it's shocking how bad Apple is. Just shocking. In the US, it's not as bad. Apple will get you the right place about 71% of the time compared to 88 from Google, or 86. And then in the UK, it's 88 for Google and like 50-something for Apple. Even in the US, when you factor in the margin of error, it means you're 3 times more likely to get a bad like address from Apple Maps than from Google Maps. 3 times more likely. That's terrible. And the US is where they're the best. The rest of the world, they're even worse.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Nexus 7 here. So I was saying the Nexus 7 got some interesting news this week. Earlier in the week, we saw a official Nexus 7 dock get unboxed in Japan, and a few days later, today, the official dock went on sale at B&H for $40. Is it showing up on Google Play? No. Is there any word from Google about this? No. But it is the official Nexus 7 dock, and you can buy it and now, and it looks like shipping availability begins December 30th. So don't know anything else besides that. It charges, has USB port and an audio jack. Standard. No, there's no speakers. It's just a dock. You place it in landscape mode and go to town.
Pins, right?
Well, one would think it uses the pogo pins because it has a USB port in the back for charging. So I would assume that it uses pogo for charging, and you just set it down in and it charges. But we don't really know since it's still very new.
I'm not a fan. I don't need one for it.
All right, so we had some interesting rumors about the HTC M7, and that's a successor to
To the One X.
to the One X. Dan, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's supposed to be another 4.7-inch device, just like the One X, also with an LCD2 display, except this time it's going to be at 1080 instead of 720. So it's even more pixel dense than the Droid DNA, which was already like 414. So this is in like the 450s probably range, so very pixel dense screen. It's also rumored to have a 1.7 gigahertz Qualcomm quad-core Snapdragon S4 processor and a 13 megapixel rear-facing camera together with a 2 megapixel front-facing, plus their image sense chip. So it should be a very good camera. So yeah, if the rumors are true, this is going to be a very, very good device.
That's exciting, and I think that the screen size is too small.
Now, talking about pogo pin charging, we saw a little bit of Nexus 10 rumors leak this week. A Nexus 10 pogo pin charger is basically just a little clamp that just clamps on the bottom. If the image is correct, if the image is real, the leak said it was going to cost roughly $20 and be available on online stores, for like $20, like on Amazon. We don't really know anything else. It's a leak. It's a photo online. It seems to be legit. I don't really see the point of it. But hey, it's a different way
Somebody
to
has to use the poco
charge.
pins because those things have been pretty much useless to this point.
And it's it's a Nexus accessory, so we don't know anything about it, until boom, it just shows up somewhere magically. Moving on, U.S. Cellular owners rejoice if you have a Galaxy S2 from Samsung. You are now getting ice cream sandwich on your device. I didn't say jelly bean. I said ice cream sandwich. Ice cream sandwich came out 14 months ago, and you are now getting Android 4.0.4. Congratulations.
You're still behind.
I try to not to be sarcastic about that because an update is an update. It's a great update. You're getting some nice features, but it's really far behind. I mean, an update's an update, and that's good. You're on 4.0 at least, but
Project Butter is really the thing that people need. If all basic phones got Project Butter, that'd be awesome. That'd be sweet. Their UI experience would be increased a lot.
From Gingerbread to ICS, it's a lot too, though.
That is true, but you still got that, lag.
Gingerbread to ICS, from a technical standpoint, is a far more difficult hurdle than ICS to Jelly Bean.
EGL drivers are hard to get going on that.
So let's talk about another phone that's getting Android 4.0 that is needed for eons.
I don't believe this.
So the HTC Thunderbolt, Verizon's first 4G phone, is supposed to be getting Android 4.0 soon. HTC said this on Twitter. So soon plus Android updates plus Verizon plus HTC equals who knows.
Really pissed off
but
people
they
that have
said
already sold
it's
their phones.
coming. So Thunderbolt owners, your phone at this point is going to be ready for an upgrade very soon, but you're going to have an update coming out soon.
Even though your new for 2 is already coming up in like a month from now, if you were the first one to get that phone.
I really wonder why they would push an update to a phone that is probably lost and had a steady declining of users that actually own the phone. Why
waste your time?
I know some people that still have it, and I have one that still has it, and he's livid. I mean,
But is Verizon just doing it to say, hey, we do support legacy devices?
Probably.
Yeah, maybe
For
so.
the record, Derek, I've had a kernel for that for months.
Well, you know what? Never mind. We're not gonna talk about that. So you've had a kernel for that phone for
For
months.
the Thunderbolt for ICS, yeah.
Well, you know what, Dan? That actually brings us into the next segment of our show, giving away another Google Play gift card, another $10 gift card. So if you're watching right now, make sure you're going to comment on the original post on Android Authority. And Cat, you're really annoying me. I'm sorry, my cat keeps jumping up on my lap. Dan, I need a little micro kitty like yours, so she's not in my way. All right, so speaking of Dan and the fact that Dan develops kernels, the question is, for $10 of Google Play credit, what is the name of Dan's kernels? For example, Francisco Franco, his kernel was called Franco kernel. What is the name of Dan's kernel?
You have to get it spelled correctly.
Is it called Dan's kernel? Who knows? Is it
I like that
called
name.
C kernel for Charlton? Who knows? So what is the name of Dan's kernel? Go ahead and type that in the comments.
It has to have kernel at the end, just to let you know.
You don't have to say kernel. Just
Oh,
type
yes,
the
you
word
do.
the word of his kernel. If his kernel is called cool kernel, you don't have to type kernel. Just
We
type
got a winner.
Oh, we got a winner?
Yep.
Ben Bagley.
Ben Bagley, come on down. All right, congrats, Ben. I will be contacting you later with
That's
your
creepy.
$10 gift card. Merry Christmas. Thanks for tuning into the show. What am I? This is actually pretty funny. One of my iPhone buddies, one of my close friends, is actually watching the show right now, and he messaged me Sanders. Colonel Sanders. He doesn't get he doesn't get colonels. He has no clue what we're talking about.
I kind of want to make a meme about that now.
Fantastic.
Colonel
Alright,
Sanders
so-
memes.
That needs to he needs to start baking kernels together and calling it that now. I think it sounds legit.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to some more device news. Then we'll talk about something else. All right. So if you like Google TV, or you're on the fence about should I get one, should I not get one, we have two things with device news today. One, the Hisense Pulse became available for ordering today. The Hisense Pulse is a $99 Google TV set-top box, similar to the Vizio. Actually, it looks almost exactly like the Vizio. But it's made by a different manufacturer. But it is a little bit different. The remote control has a microphone in it. The CoStar does not. So it is Google TV version 3 ready, which is nice. And if you're not aware, in version 3 of Google TV, it allows you to do voice search. So you'll pick up your mic and say, Batman Begins, and you'll find him. It'll find that for you. The remote has that feature, and the CoStar does not. And another big differentiating feature is the Hisense Pulse has the IR blaster built into the actual set-top box. Most Google TV devices have that, but the CoStar, it said the device that it looks similar and costs similar to does not. The CoStar's IR blasters are in the remote. So what exactly does that mean? For a lot of people, it won't mean anything, won't be a big deal, but for a lot of people, it will be. IR blasters allow you to control other devices, so you can control your TV, your DVR, your cable box, whatever.
And Derek dropped out.
Oh. Do you have any idea how good the Hisense is in comparison to, say, the Vizio or the?
I'm not that familiar with that new device, but I know that the update for the Vizio was awesome. It's definitely a lot faster than what it was before. Derek, you agree with the Vizio update?
Yeah. The Vizio update I definitely noticed faster menu performance. Stability, I never really had it crash or anything like that. Our apps crash, but except for Plex crashes all the time.
I had one bad experience with the Vizio. It got in a continuous loop of me trying to reboot it, and this app just kept dying.
Interesting. Well, it's faster now. I can definitely tell the menus are faster. The overlay itself is faster. Fire blasters. Did you guys finish that up at all or no?
No.
All right. So real quick, not IR blasters. So if you have them in your remote, that works great. So you can control all of your devices as long as your remote is pointing at all your devices. Which if you're pointing it at the TV, all your devices are going to be up there. You're going to be able to control them. Where this comes into a big deal is if you're using an app to control your TV. So if you're using the Google Play, the Google TV app, or you're using maybe Able Remote or something like that, and you're trying to control your TV, your remote has to be pointed at your TV anyway, so you have to have it out on the coffee table, and then you have to go into the settings on the CoStar and say, do not put my remote to sleep, basically, when it's not in use. So it's always running, always using battery. So there are workarounds in it. You can get it to work on the CoStar, but most Google TV devices have the blaster, the communication device to your other devices built into the actual set-top box. You don't have to do that. Big deal for some people, not a big deal for others. Anyways, $99. You can go and purchase that today. I snagged one. I'm going to have two Google TV boxes and a Pulse and a CoStar. So I'll give my thoughts here in 2 days when I get one.
Cool. Let me know which one you think is better.
Well, which one do I think is better now?
When you get the.
Oh yeah. I'll definitely talk. I mean, depending on overlays, if the stock versus overlay, their implementation of it. I'll definitely talk about it and give my recommendation. Definitely. So Yeah, let's move on to some OEM news. Dan, I've been yakking for a while. You want to take that over?
Sure. So apparently HTC, in their continuing financial woes, is canceling a bunch of devices. We already heard they're canceling a Windows Phone device, mostly because of Microsoft's low standards. But now apparently they're canceling several Android devices and trying to kind of refocus. And we heard kind of the same thing from them last year, and it didn't really pan out. They ended up releasing a whole slew of devices again this year. So hopefully they can get it together a little bit more and keep the the M7 as sort of the one flagship everywhere, and then push out one or two other models beyond that, and really get it together. They want to really put the focus into making blockbuster devices, which for them their biggest problem is advertising. So that's good because it means that you have fewer things to advertise for. And then in other news, Samsung's Exynos processor, specifically the Exynos 4, apparently has a security flaw in it that basically you can exploit the security flaw to gain access to the device's RAM, and then from there you can do continually more malicious things and basically take over the device. So definitely a flaw, definitely bad, definitely a simple fix in terms of coding. Essentially just a particular permission is not set appropriately in a particular place. So all you have to do is change that, and then it's fine. The problem is obviously getting updates out to the public is slow. And so now that there is very public information about this, definitely if you have devices with an Exynos 4, and that would be in the US, the Galaxy Note 2, internationally, the Galaxy S3, and I think some versions of the Galaxy S2 have a dual-core Exynos 4, and so both the quad-core Exynos 4 and the dual-core Exynos 4 are affected by the issue. So if you have one of those and you're rooted, you can very easily find a kernel developer that is going to incorporate the patch and get yourself an updated patch. Otherwise, it's probably going to be a while for Samsung to roll it out to you. Internationally, that's a little bit easier, so fortunately most of the affected people are international. In the US, Galaxy Note 2 owners should be watching out for problems with that. And then in more processor news, Tegra 4 rumors have leaked. So NVIDIA's next generation processor is rumored to be a quad-core Cortex A15 processor, so twice what the Samsung Exynos 5 is, together with a single-core A5 Cortex A5 processor, so the same 4+1 setup that they've been using, and then their GPU, which is based off of their new desktop GPU line. I think it's called the Trinity GPU. But for their ARM chip, it's going to have 72 cores. So what that says for actual real-world performance remains to be seen, but it's definitely going to put a damper on Apple trying to brag about a quad-core GPU now. And then AOU is a display manufacturer, and they're going to start shipping AMOLED screens. So the first company other than Samsung to ship these types of displays. And HTC quickly bought them all. So definitely look for probably low to mid-range HTCs using AMOLED screens in the not too distant future. And in a little bit more news, Imagination Technologies, who makes a lot of GPUs, they make the Power VR series that the iPhone and a lot of other high-end devices use, are trying to buy MIPS, who make processors, for about $100 million. And so it looks like they are trying to move into the full-on system-on-a-chip marketplace through MIPS.
Interesting.
It's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And Android runs on MIPS already, and there are a lot of popular, very low-end Chinese and Indian tablets using MIPS processors. They aren't very popular for
MIPS is a
devices here in the US.
It's a decent reduced instruction set architecture that doesn't cost as much to license. I mean, it's
it's definitely a promising architecture. It's usually used for a lot more sort of intermediary processing tasks, the sort of behind the scenes things that people don't think about actually having a processor type applications. So I don't know how it'll go.
definitely good to have options there, though. They got better chance than Intel.
All right, let's move on here and talk about rootin' and ramen for a little bit, and then after this segment, we'll give away our third Google Play $10 gift card here in a few minutes. So, on the rootin' and ramen front, CM continues to CM 10.1 all the things. Right now, they have a decent list of devices that are getting nightly builds. One of the nicer features that is available right now, at least that I think, is the quick settings, quick tiles update or enhancement, I guess. Not really an update, enhancement that CM added. So right now in Android 4.2, quick tiles are pretty much just shortcuts. I honestly don't see a whole lot of a need for them besides seeing the current state of some of some of those things, if they're connected or whatnot. They're just shortcuts. It's very cool. I love them, but they take the exact same amount of clicks or taps to still disable or enable Wi-Fi. You still have to flick down. You still have to hit the Wi-Fi shortcut. Then you actually have to hit the button to turn it off. It's a shortcut, but the same amount of taps. So very cool, but CM improved upon it. So now the tiles are actual toggles, and then they're completely customizable too. So there's a list of maybe 10, 15 different toggles you can choose from, and then you can rearrange them in the order you want. It's very nice. I like it. I wish I was able to do that on my DNA, but that's another story. So let's get into what is available right now on CM 10.1 with nightly builds. Remember, nightly builds are kind of like bleeding edge ROMs. There might be a few things not working, or it might be buggy and whatnot, but flash at your own risk. Anyways, so all variants of the Galaxy Nexus have CM 10.1, as well as the Nexus 10, the Nexus 4, the 7, the Nexus 7 3G. Also,
if it has Nexus in the name and not followed by 1, it's got it.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, no, the Nexus S does not have it.
Oh, poor S.
Or the Nexus S 4G. So anyways, the Transformer Pad, as well as the Transformer Pad Infinity, or the Transformer Infinity, have CM 10.1, and then a whole mess of Samsung devices, as always. So we have the Samsung Galaxy Tab 2 7.0, the Tab 2 10.1, the Verizon 10.1, the 10.1 Wi-Fi, and then a few models of the original Samsung Galaxy S, a few variants, a few models of the S2, and then a few models and variants of the S3. So there's a lot of Samsung devices, that got added the past week. I'm sure as time goes on, more and more will get added, more and more will get more stable, yada, yada, yada. And as always, the rule of thumb with the CyanogenMod team is no ETAs. So, it's coming when it comes. So whenever your developer, your maintainer, does his thing. So let's talk about a new touch recovery that made its way to the world this past week. Most of us probably use Twerp, which is TeamWin Open Recovery project, and then there's Clockwork Mod, the original popular guy from Koosh. So what do you guys use right now? What are you a fan of, Dan? What's your recovery of choice?
I use Twerp, but then again, I know most of the developers that work on it, so
yeah, you gotta support your buddies, right?
Yeah.
So John, what do you like? Are you a Clockwork guy or a Twerp guy?
I'm on Twerp. I mean,
or you're a Mono RA guy.
Huh?
Or a Mono RA? Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Amon Ra? It's RA.
Yeah.
I always said RA.
Like the god Amon Ra.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense now.
Yes.
Okay.
Before
It actually makes
sense.
It actually makes sense. Okay. I'm an idiot from time to time. So sorry, John. What did you say?
You remember that there used to be 4EXT recovery too, and that I don't remember.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much out of it lately, but yeah, I've been on Twerp, and I don't have a huge recovery preference or necessarily need touch or anything, but it's fast, it's efficient, and it works nice. So I haven't had any reason to change it.
I like Twerp. How about you, Scott?
I like Twerp too. It's simple and needs. Yeah.
I like touch. Now I know there's Clockwork Mod touch, but
Clockwork Touch is ugly though.
But the touch, it's the touch that was added to a scroll interface. You know what I mean?
It's the exact same thing, just blown up for fingers.
Yeah. I really like Twerp. I'm a fan, and it's it's completely open. With Goo Manager, it allows you to do a lot of the things. You don't have to have a certain application bought and installed to be able to use to access the APIs. It's not. I like it. But then again, a lot of people like Clockwork Mob because it supports an insane amount of devices too.
It does. Although
Yeah,
Twerp
so
supports quite a few.
like my old HTC, actually it's my wife's old HTC Incredible sitting right here. It has a Clockwork Mod on it.
There's a Twerp for it.
There is. Better update
There might
that.
not
before-
actually be a public one. I might have a test build of it still on my
test build, private build on the old ding. Okay, all
I
right.
might still have a non-public Twerp build on my Incredible one.
All right, so anyways, the reason we're talking about recoveries is there's a new kit on the block called Cannibal Open Touch Recovery. It has the standard things you kind of expect in a touch recovery. There's theme support, touchscreen support. Obviously, it says touch in the name. It has buttons. You can do advanced backups, user-defined backup locations. And like I said, standard recovery features that we've all come to know and love over time. It only supports a few devices right now because it's new. The developers plan to support additional devices in the future. Right now, it's just on the Nexus 7, the Nexus S 4G, the DINK, the HTC Droid Incredible. We were just talking about. It's on the Epic Touch 4G, the Kindle Fire, the Optimus S, V, and M. So I'm sure maybe they've added another device or two since I actually looked into it. But yeah, so go and try it out if your device is supported, and let us know what you think.
It's definitely an impressive list. And there's a lot that are sort of easy pickings from there. They've got the Incredible. Getting the Evo and the Nexus 1 and the Desire is minimal work.
All right, so we talked about Google Wallet earlier, and let's talk about rooting and ROM. And so if you're a rooted user and you have a Galaxy S3, getting Google Wallet to work was kind of a pain. You had to do a whole bunch of build-up prop edits and constantly changing to Google Wallet to work. And it was kind of a pain in the butt. It was hard, not really, but it was just a pain. Who wants to go in and edit your build-up prop unless you're on a knit.t looking for speed enhancements, right? So it's something you're not always going to do. So there's an app, which honestly it could be removed from the Play Store already. I assume it'll get removed eventually. That's just my guess, though. I could be wrong. Anyways, there's an app that's on the Play Store that does all that for you. You don't have to manually go in and edit your build-up prop to get to get Wallet to work, to fake it into working. It just it does it all for you now. So it makes it easier for you. If it gets removed from the Play Store, you can still snag it from XDA where the app was released. So. What's that?
I assume it's root only.
Yeah, because you have to.
For that reason, I doubt that it'll get pulled from the Play Store.
It's
not doing anything illegal. All it's doing is changing a setting.
And it downloads and installs a wallet for you.
Oh,
I mean, I guess for a long time there was a Google Wallet installer on there.
Either.
Yeah. So let's get into.
Loading an app. They can't possibly fault that.
All right. Well, we'll see. Let's give away another Christmas present. Our third Google Play gift card.
This card is going to be $9.99.
No, it won't. It'll be $10. But it is actually about my friend Scott Anderson, who has been with me for almost a year talking about Android on Hangout shows. You realize in another couple weeks, this is episode 43.
9 weeks.
In 9 weeks, and 2 months, we will be at a year of doing this.
That's crazy to think about right now.
All right, so in the year that I've known Scott, he fought tooth and nail about not wanting to root. He didn't want to damage his phone. He didn't want to damage his tablet. He was under the impression that he could damage it, and yeah, you could if you really try really hard. And eventually, the dark side got to him, and he decided to become a fan of rooting and ROMing. So, in the comments on the Android Authority post on Google+, if you're just joining in us now, I want you to tell me the very first phone that Scott Anderson rooted.
And what is my ROM of choice for that phone?
You don't.
It's not actually part of it.
That's a bonus point, and the only thing you get is gratification that Scott Anderson is your hero. Yeah. The main question is, what phone did Scott root first? And for bonus points, what ROM are you running now, or what ROM did you run first?
What ROM did I run first and stick with?
I didn't know you stuck with it. I thought you were sticking with the thing that doesn't matter. I'll give it away. We're not going to talk about it.
Don't give it away.
So do we have a winner already? Do we have a winner yet? Do we have any Scott Anderson fans? Oh,
Ooh.
I think we have a winner.
John says I previously had an Incredible. Oh.
Well, you didn't have an Incredible. You had a Droid.
What was my previous phone?
You had a Droid X, but and he currently has the Galaxy Nexus. So I'm guessing we got to give it to John.
Wait a second. There's somebody further up who said what he rooted first. Ross Turner. Excuse me.
Okay. The comment tracker just refreshed for me.
Oh no, John posted before you asked the question.
Oh.
I'm sorry. That's why I was ignoring John's post, because that was before you asked the question.
Okay, and then that's why he actually posted again his actual real answer. Okay, John, you done screwed yourself. Okay, so who won? Ross Turner, right? Ross, right?
I don't see.
Ross Turner won?
I don't see Ross Turner post.
Yeah, and John says so too.
Okay, all right, so
Ross Turner, have you blocked Scott?
What?
Maybe. I see him, and that's all that matters. So Ross
Ross
Turner, I will get a hold of you, as the others.
And Ben Bagley got it right. Galaxy Nexus AOKP with a question mark, but take that question mark off, and you'll be right.
What's interesting enough is he must stalk you well enough to know that you did have AOKP. There you go, Scott. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Ben. I'm kidding. All right, so congratulations again, Ross. I like your first name. It's my last name. Glad you won. Merry Christmas, and I will get a hold of you later with your code.
How many more we got? I can't do math real good.
We need to hurry up. Well, we're really dragging this show out tonight. All right, so we got 2 more to give away. Let's just burn through some carrier stuff. Republic Wireless, they're awesome because they're doing things that other carriers aren't. They know that data and phone calls, are 2 completely different animals, and they're tying it all together with Wi-Fi calling or data calling, and saying that we're going to give unlimited calling, unlimited data for very, very cheap prices and do things completely different than other carriers. And they're also not okay with rooting your phone. They announced this week that saying that they've seen a flurry of questions and comments now that the service is live, and they wanted to give some answers and a bit of context. The burning question these days is whether to root your phone, and are they okay with rooting your phone? And they said no. When you agree to the terms of service, when you joined Republic Wireless, and if you follow the terms of service, their terms of service says that they can terminate your service at any time for any reason. So if you root your phone and they find out about it somehow, they can terminate your service.
They can. That doesn't mean that they will.
Yeah.
I mean, Verizon isn't okay with rooting. I mean, that's why every phone comes out with a block bootloader now.
Yeah, but just be aware that they can, but that doesn't mean that they will. So just know that they could.
Yeah,
but it was. I mean, it was interesting to see a carrier explicitly come out and say that, though. A lot of no carriers really say don't root your phone.
Yes, they do.
Well, yeah,
Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, and AT&T say the same thing. If you root your phone, we don't support it.
Yeah. Don't support it, or don't support it is completely different than we could terminate your service.
Yeah, they can still terminate your service.
I just don't think they like it.
Well, either way, we don't work. Well, some of us work.
Just don't walk into the place expecting to get technical support on your rooted phone.
Yeah.
You'll probably be okay.
And that's pretty much the case anywhere. You don't. You
walk in with your Galaxy S3 running CyanogenMod, you're probably going to raise some eyes.
Like, hey, for some reason I keep dropping data, and
You're like, I can't really help you on that, buddy.
Google Wallet won't work on my Galaxy S3. What are you doing? You know, like. So yeah, Republic Wireless. Though, what do you think of their take on calling? You know, they're doing something completely different. What do you think about them, Dan, Scott, John?
I haven't looked into them a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
I like they're trying different things, and I like that about carriers.
I
Yeah,
like
so
the
so don't
idea.
don't pitchfork them yet just because they said no to routing. You know what I mean? They have some good stuff.
Yeah, I like the idea. I just don't think it's particularly well implemented.
Or it won't be well implemented until networks are bigger, better, stronger, faster.
No, their problem is that they're building this particular. The problem is they're building this on the back of Sprint's network. And when I say that, I'm not actually saying anything bad about Sprint's network. CDMA does not hand off to Wi-Fi like that. It just doesn't. And so they have to build a very specific device with a very specific radio that can make that work. And so that's why it's only like one crappy little device, and it's not a big enough carrier to like get good devices because nobody's going to go out of their way for Republic Wireless. If they were building this on the back of a GSM network, that handoff is built in natively. That's why T-Mobile can do it, because all you have to do is turn it on. Right? Like Wi-Fi calling is not new. It just doesn't work with CDMA.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about Sprint since you were mentioning them.
Yeah, Sprint is rolling out LTE in six more markets and expanding a few that they already have, which is nice. And they're also buying the rest of Clearwire, so the other 49-point-something% that they don't own, for some $2.2 billion. Basically, this is a big spectrum grab. And so Sprint is actually, I think, going to be one of, if not the largest spectrum holders in the country. In outright owned spectrum, because they have all the IDN spectrum, they have a huge chunk of PCS, they have all of this Clearwire spectrum at 2600. They've got a lot of spectrum.
I wonder if they're gonna utilize that.
Now speaking
Now
of
they just need the
rolling out,
infrastructure to back it up.
Yeah.
speaking of rolling out LTE, every carrier's that's what they're doing nowadays, except for T-Mobile.
Next year.
Verizon did the same thing. Verizon had 16 more markets. And they're up to like 470 markets or something like that now. And they also expanded on other markets as well. I know that for a fact because I have LTE at my house, and I did not have that before. So, speaking of me having LTE at my house and using it, that leads us into the next giveaway. This is once again, the last couple of questions haven't really been so much about Android, but more about us, the people on the show. We want to give back to the people that watch us, or at least listen to us from time to time, and are fans of the show. So this is my question. Actually, John, we didn't ask a question about you. We don't like you.
It's all good.
I mean, yeah, we didn't include.
I'm just here for you guys.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Scott and Dan and I are here for you. John, he's not. He's just. So all right. So Derek's question is, what phone am I currently using as my daily driver? First person to comment on that wins $10 of Google Play credit.
The first person to give the name that Derek often uses for it on this
Yeah,
show.
yeah. Bonus.
Will win my gratification.
Yeah, to win Dan's gratification, what do I refer to this phone as? And comment refresh, go.
Looks like we have a winner.
Oh, yeah, see, people know that I call it the Dicks. That's great.
Oh, and it's close, too.
You know what? So Trevor, there is a stipulation on this. The HTC DNA is correct, but we can only give play credit to people that have working phones at this time.
Oh.
Now, Trevor actually does have a working phone. His what horrible sad version of an Android phone do you have since you broke your Nexus 4? Like it is some crap box phone that he has. Like, all right, so so the HTC DNA is right. HTC Droid DNA. I would have accepted that as well. Or the Droid. Well, actually, the Droid Dixt actually doesn't make any sense because the D actually stands for the. But yeah, so the Deluxe became the Dix, the DIX, the DLX, yada yada yada. So
We're gonna stop saying that one day.
yeah. So HTC DNA,
Only
Trevor.
7 releases.
Trevor, I will give you the code, even though you're using some crap box phone right now, since you are getting your Nexus 4 fixed next week. Basically, Trevor's a ROM developer of the knit.t. He flashed a new nightly onto his phone, and it bricked it, and he couldn't even get it to work again. He had to get a new one.
They have factory images for that.
No, fast boot didn't work. Like it could.
Oh,
Like,
oh no!
Oh my.
Oh, that's
yeah.
You gotta
so-
think, man. Trevor does like down to the metal mods and everything. This is not just a ROM.
This is basically it's basically like a new phone. All right, so we got one more giveaway, and let's do some real quick patent wars. We had a real long show tonight, so Dan,
Yeah.
go.
So Apple's big pinch to zoom patent was preliminarily struck down by the U.S. Patent and Trade Office. It is one that Samsung was found infringing on in 21 out of 24 devices, and because the jury did such a horrible job in actually explaining where the F they came up with the numbers they put down, it's going to be really hard for the judge to walk back those damages, which clearly ought not be paid for a patent that wasn't valid, without actually having a brand new trial for damages. So more problems in the Apple-Samsung case, including Judge Koh ruling that Apple will get absolutely no bans or injunctions on Samsung products. So suck it, Apple. Apple quickly appealed. In European news, though, Samsung is withdrawing all of its injunction requests against Apple. And then, strangely, the EU is apparently investigating them for antitrust problems of requesting injunctions against other people's devices for patent infringement, which they're no longer doing. So, bad timing. Google, Apple, and Research in Motion, 3 strange bedfellows, are coming together to buy about about $500 million worth of Kodak patents, which is good news for Kodak because that covers most of their outstanding debt, and is good news really for all smartphone users because hopefully there'll be less patent crap to do with camera patents.
Is that really what's going to happen? I mean, is there just going to be like, oh, everybody's got enough patents, and then we can't really...
No. The 3 companies together are bidding on them, so all 3 companies will basically share ownership of them.
You know, it'd be the same, pretty much the same process.
Yeah, so they'll all be using the same patent in the first place, so you can't sue and say, oh, you're infringing on my patent because your patent is my patent.
Okay. Be interesting.
So that'll definitely undercut some of the camera patent wars for smartphones.
Let's go through the rest of these real quick here, Dan.
Yeah. Google lost ITC judgment against Apple on a proximity sensor patent, but there's still a bunch more pending there. And the FTC case against Google looks like it's dying, which was quickly followed by Microsoft doing a whole lot of whining.
Microsoft has been whining a lot lately.
A lot. Yes.
What else are they going to do? Design a phone operating system?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I want them to succeed, but they're not going to.
Okay, we ready for the final question of the evening?
Is this for a
This is
Play
for-
Store credit?
Yeah, this is for our 5th and final $10 Google Play Store credit. Once again, comment on the original post, yada yada yada, like all the other ones. And if you already won, you can't win again. That just wouldn't be fair, right?
Unless you change accounts and you comment with a different account.
Lies. Don't do that.
All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and give the answer or the question away now, so you don't
Answer
have time
away.
to do that. All right, so the previous 3 questions have been about us on the show, minus John, because we don't like him. The very first question was about Android. So the last question, if you're new to the show, you really don't know who we are. That's cool too. So we're going to give you a chance to win something. So very simple question. If you follow Android, you should be able to get this without having to look it up. What is the name of the default font found in Android 4.x? It came out with Ice Cream Sandwich. It is still there in 4.1 and 4.2. What is the name of the default font found in Android 4.x.
Say that 10 times fast.
And we have a winner.
Who is it?
It's John Lesky for real
It
this time.
is Johnny Boy. Yeah, there we
For
go.
real this time. And Ben trying to get in there again for a second win.
You go out and do a thing like this and totally redeem yourself.
All right, John, congratulations, sir. It looks like refreshing your browser, refreshing the stream, fixed it for you. So congratulations again. I will get with everybody that won. I added you guys to a circle. I will notify you each individually, have all your names, like I said, and I will get you your codes. And you just open up the Google Play app or go on the website and enter your redeem code that I will get you. Anything else, Scott, John? John, I have a question for you. Since we snubbed you, what question, if we had a sixth card to give away, what question should we have asked?
Wow.
No. Oh, the pressure.
Maybe that's a new. Maybe that's a new.
It could be a ROM question because I'm basically just
All right, so
buying stock. So it could
let's
be.
do it. Let's do it for Jonathan Franklin bragging points. What tablet besides the Nexus 7 did he get for free at the Big Android Barbecue? What tablet did Jonathan Franklin? He won 2 tablets. He won one from XDA Developers, courtesy of Adam Outler. He won 2. Oh God, courtesy of what? Android guys.
Yeah, Android guys.
Okay, Android guys, courtesy of Android guys. The Nexus 7, he won that the next morning. What was the first tablet that John won? What was the name of it?
We can post a review link of the tablet.
Yeah, they're very
if you want to check
valuable.
it out, up close and personal.
Yeah,
I still got it.
We'll post the review link.
I still have the tablet. It's in the back seat of my truck right now, and
I don't think anybody knows what
I
it
have to
is.
drag it in and show it to everybody.
Trevor Bass wins the Jonathan Franklin Award.
What was it?
Hashtag Android.
Hashtag.
Oh my god.
Actually, what is its real name called? It's like Android Touch or.
Oh my god, I've seen those at
Big kid.
CVS.
All I know is on the front of the box, it had hashtag Android. Like that was the biggest graphic on the front of it.
Like an actual hashtag or written out hashtag?
No, written out.
It was
actual.
a
It's a hashtag.
pound symbol.
Oh.
Yeah, and then
Okay, the
it was
actual
on the bottom,
symbol. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that at CVS.
the hashtag Android.
Yeah.
It's a great name.
I think it was Make It Snab or something like that.
All right, so Scott, where can everybody find us and watch this beautiful Christmas edition?
You go to AndroidAuthority.com, scroll down to the bottom right. There's an on-air section. Every post, every show is on there. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Right now, we're not posting on the YouTube channel, but we had some technical difficulties, so this will be on the YouTube channel. And then, if you want to contribute to our show or ask questions or get some free stuff like we gave away tonight, follow Android Authority on the Google Plus page. And also you can find us on SoundCloud if you don't want to watch us or stream us. Download the MP3 from there, all that goodies. We're also on iTunes, and we have an RSS feed.
We're just all over the interwebs. We're everywhere. So you guys have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas. We'll be back next week. Let us know if you got an Android Christmas, what kind of new devices maybe you got for Christmas or Android swag or something like that. Let us know next week, and happy holidays again. John, Scott, Dan.
Everybody, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Everybody who's watching.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Oh.